All right, let's jump right in. In the world of cybersecurity, there's a new arms race happening, and it's all being powered by artificial intelligence. Now, AI isn't just another tool you can add to the kit, it's a force that is completely changing the game for the security specialist. Let's break down exactly what that means.
So this really boils down to one huge question. Is AI the ultimate weapon for cyber attackers, or is it the most powerful shield we've ever had to defend ourselves? And here's the twist, it's both. And that's where things get really, really interesting.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to look at AI as this double-edged sword. It's not just a simple upgrade. It's a truly disruptive force that's arming both the good guys and the bad guys at the same time.
To understand the impact, you got to put yourself in the shoes of a cybersecurity team today. They are just buried under a mountain of alerts, and they're facing attacks that are more complex and sophisticated than ever. The old ways of doing things, they're just not cutting it anymore.
And this is where you really see that double-edged sword in action. On one hand, yeah, AI gives defenders much stronger, faster protection. But on the flip side, attackers are using that exact same technology to build smarter, faster malware and phishing campaigns that are so convincing you'd swear they were real.
So if we look at how AI is actually being used, yeah, a huge chunk, the biggest one, is all about finding threats faster. But look closer. It's not just about building a better wall. A big piece of this puzzle is also about dealing with totally new ethical challenges that this technology brings up.
Okay, so the game has totally changed. What does that mean for the players? Well, they've got to adapt. And that brings us to the real heart of it all, the evolution of the specialist's own toolkit. What skills actually matter now? Just look at the difference here. It's a total night and day transformation. The job used to be this manual, painful slog through endless logs. Super slow, and you could easily miss something. Now, AI automates all that grunt work, and the analyst gets to be a real threat hunter, focusing on complex strategy and chasing down the tricky stuff that only a human brain can really figure out.
So, what do you need in your toolbox these days? Well, it's not just about networks and firewalls anymore, not by a long shot. You absolutely have to understand the engine driving all this, machine learning. You need to know data science to make sense of all the threat intel. And this is huge. You need hands-on experience with the actual AI tools, and you have to get the ethics and governance side of it.
So let's break that down a bit. Machine learning, in simple terms, is just teaching computers to find patterns in data. For security, that's huge. We use what's called supervised learning to spot known malware, kind of like a digital fingerprint. But maybe even more important is unsupervised learning. That's where the AI spots stuff that's just weird, brand new activity that doesn't match any known attack. That's a game changer.
And this is probably the biggest strategic leap AI gives us. Security is finally moving away from just being reactive, cleaning up the mess after a breach. AI lets us become predictive, forecasting threats. And then it takes us one step further to being proactive, fixing the holes in the wall before anyone even tries to get in.
And hey, this isn't some far off in the future idea. It's happening right now. Take DDoS attacks. The ability for AI to, and I'm quoting here, automatically detect and mitigate DDoS attacks, drastically reducing downtime. Wow, that is literally saving businesses from being completely taken offline. So all of this, the new tools, the new skills, it's all pointing to a new way of working. And listen, the goal here isn't to replace people with AI. No way. It's about creating this powerful partnership, a symbiotic relationship where humans and AI make each other way, way smarter.
And of course, this leads to the big question everyone's thinking, right? If AI is so smart, are we even going to need human experts anymore? Look, it's a fair question, but the answer is a resounding no. Because machines and people, well, we're good at totally different things.
Think about it like this. A machine is a genius at sifting through mountains of data, petabytes of it, to find one tiny little thing that's out of place. But a human, we bring the why. We bring context, that gut feeling from years of experience, and we can actually understand why an attacker is doing what they're doing.
At the end of the day, there are just some things you can't program. The ability to think critically, to pull info from all over the place and come up with a creative solution, or that intuition, that little voice in your head that says, something's not right here, even when the data looks fine. That's the human element, and that is absolutely irreplaceable.
So what does this partnership actually look like day to day? Well, think of the AI as your tireless assistant. It's on the job 24/7, crunching data, flagging anything suspicious. Then, the human specialist steps in. You're the director, you look at what the AI found, add that crucial context, validate it, and make the big strategic calls. When you blend them together, you get security that's not just faster, it's smarter and a whole lot tougher to break.
All right, so this all sounds great for the specialist on the ground, but why should the business care? Let's talk about the bottom line impact. Let's talk money.
Yeah, the return on investment here is, frankly, it's jaw-dropping. By automating these routine security jobs, organizations are seeing dramatic cost reductions. We're talking up to 80% in areas like log analysis and vulnerability scanning, and a 75% drop for incident response. That's not just efficiency, that's freeing up massive amounts of budget and human talent.
And the impact on day-to-day operations is just as stark. Before AI, you had slow, manual detection, and response times were measured in hours, sometimes days. With AI, detection is automated, and response times are cut down to minutes, even seconds. You're flipping the entire script from being reactive to proactive, and that drastically reduces your overall business risk.
And this is maybe one of the coolest parts of all. AI is becoming a great equalizer. It acts as a force multiplier, getting smaller organizations, the ones with tiny security teams, access to the kind of advanced, powerful security that was once only available to massive corporations.
So, when you boil it all down, it comes back to this one powerful idea. The future of cybersecurity is not man versus machine, but man with machine. That partnership, that collaboration, that is the absolute key to securing our digital world.
So I want to leave you with a question to think about. As AI gets better and better at handling the data, at spotting the patterns, at doing all the routine tasks, what is the uniquely human skill that you're going to cultivate to become your most valuable asset? Because whether it's your creativity, your intuition, or your deep strategic thinking, that's where your true value will lie.